All right, welcome back to episode 4 of the CB750 build project. For this episode, I'm going to be talking about finally, slight spoilers, but I already gave them away last time, finally getting the bike running, which is awesome. Talking about some starter stuff, which that'll become an issue later, but not in this video. Going over carb stuff, doing some, I'm going to call it exhaust work, which sounds way more than what it actually is, but exhaust work, and then starting to look at the actual clutch. So, thanks for being here. Let's get into it.
What have you done?
Yep, so there you go. That's the first time I ever actually got that bike to run. It was a little goofy sounding. Obviously, that popping noise is because I didn't have any of the exhaust headers on. Doesn't sound much better now because they're only about yay long anyway. But yeah, that was the first time. Great success. So, the nice thing is, I can in fact, you'll see that no one is nearby that bike. I am actually able to get it to idle. The challenge that I'm having is, I think it just needs adjustment. That's all it is at this point. So when I actually go through and I give it some good RPMs, it backfires out of, I want to say it's 3 and 4, mainly just 4. 3 seems mostly okay unless I'm like really getting on it. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna let her idle. I've been letting her idle for a little while now, just because I've got a little bit of a smoking issue. It's not really smoking. I think it's just some condensation that's been in there for friggin' forever. It's finally burning off because I didn't let it idle for very long yesterday or 2 days ago when I actually got it started. The only update that I've got really beyond that is I had an issue where the starter was slipping again. So I went back in there and I retightened that rotor nut that's on there, and that seems to have fixed the problem. But yeah, that's about where I'm at. So next is going to be, I've got to wait until I can actually get the bars, and then once I have the bars, I can get the controls and the clutch lines and all that kind of stuff, so I can actually get it so that everything connects to what it's supposed to connect to, and we'll go from there. But it has been a couple weeks? I don't remember. It's been a little while because we were in rotation. So where I'm at now on the chopper project, now that I've got some free time again, is I've got these little guys. So these little brass tubes are going to attach to right here, there we go, on the carburetors, and I'm going to attach 4 of those along with this device that one of my buddies loaned me, that guy, and in theory that's going to allow me to test the vacuum across all 4 of those carburetors to get that knocked out. So before that got done, I needed to get a couple of pieces in. So I got in these little replacement bits. So I got new clamps on here for the hoses, and I got this guy. This is a tech cable, an actual tech cable before it all went electronic. So I got that all hooked up because I'm going to need to keep it about 2,000 RPMs in order to tune the carburetors. So I've got the pipes back on. That's connected. I'm about to get this thing spun up and running, hopefully idling in some way, shape, or form, and from there I can start to tune. So I have no idea how this tuning process is going to go. I also need to put the grips on because I've got kind of a ghetto throttle right now, and I need to actually get the covers for it, but it's there. So I'm going to start that process now and see how that goes. More to follow. So back at the chopper project. Today, I think, begins the task of cutting down the exhaust to actually make it fit, because that's kind of what I decided to do. Just kidding, I already did it. So these are the new exhaust pipes And you can see kind of how long they are. That's not going to be annoying at all. I'm sure it'll be super reasonable, super quiet, and not horrible at all to anyone nearby me. He says, lying. Right there are what's left. I'm going to hang on to them. I don't know what for, but I'm going to hang on to them. I'm just trying to figure out which ones go where on the actual bike itself, because the next little fun game is going to be putting everything back together and actually test firing it to see what it actually sounds like. My guess is incredibly obnoxious, but kind of here is what it's going to look like, at least for now. So I'm still keeping a little bit of the same pattern, but instead of dumping along the side, they're going to dump directly immediately onto the ground right in front of the frame. So we'll see how that goes. I still don't have very much clearance, but I've still got like 3 or 4 inches, I think, now that I didn't have before. So it's a start. Now to tighten everything down and fire it back up and let it sit there and see how horrible it is. We'll see. Okay, so for the exhaust, just to jump in here real quick, I think what I'm actually going to do for the exhaust is I'm trying to do basically like an organ-style, very high rear tailpipes. So what I mean is this side. This is kind of what I'm looking at doing. So instead of having those little shorties that are about yay big, I'm going to have ones that are the length of the bike plus the length of the sissy bar, and that'll be the overall gist. Just so as nobody thinks I'm trying to burn valves. Foreshadowing again. Okay, I'm partway through it already because I forgot that I was doing these. So today's project, for right now at least, is to go through and take a look at the clutch. So I already popped the cover off. There's the cover. There's the O-ring. Everything actually looks okay. There's like this weird little ball bearing positioning thing that's behind the plate. That seems to be functioning correctly. I took the kicker lever off, the brake lever off, this panel off, and this is the actual clutch. So I got to undo these 4 bolts right here. And then there's a weird little bolt or a weird little nut underneath that I got to take off to get the whole basket to come out, and then I can see how much of this thing is seized up. So there is a little bit of gunk down in the actual housing, which makes me think that it's just stuck is all. So I'm going to take that apart, see what I can get at, and more to follow. All right, there you go. So that about covers it for this time. We're coming up, I think, closer to the end. I think I'm at maybe 2, maybe 3 more videos left on this before I'm all caught up. And then we get to do some really obnoxious stuff that I'll get into later. But again, thanks for being here. Like and subscribe if you like it. And as always, leave any comments if you got them. Thanks for being here.